This little demon, my mother-in-law, is turning my own children, and this man that's being so close and friendly with her daughter, which she's completely okay with. She tells me, oh, I felt so bad, but it's better that it be an old man than a young man. That's what you have to tell me, mother-in-law?
If he were telling the truth, he wouldn't have told us.
Unless, of course, he knew you wouldn't believe the truth, even if he told us.
Hello, world. I wanted to share my sleep paralysis dream, the last one that I've had, and it happened towards the end of 2020, right when I had opened up the cosmetic store in the market, and I had a sleep paralysis dream. I'd gone to sleep. The operator of the market was there. He'd spend a lot of time at our house. They'd play Ghost Stop. It's a Korean game. And I just didn't like being in that environment. I didn't like it. And I didn't like the stuff that they talk about. All of the stuff that they talked about was just boring stuff to me. So I went up and I went to sleep. I fell asleep. I woke up in my dream. It was still my house, but it wasn't really my house. So all of the different things, like my room and the game room and the hallway, the stairwell, all of those things were in the right place, but it wasn't my house. The house was much larger than the house that I lived in. I mean, the house that I lived in was about 3,500 square feet. It wasn't a small house. It was a pretty decent sized house. But this house in my dream was much bigger. And I walked out into the hallway and I'm walking to the game room, and my kid is playing on the ground, my youngest son, Aiden. And all around him, the toys are all over the place. It's all chaotic, but the thing is all the toys are all perfectly lined up. All the toys are perfectly lined up as if they were intentionally put there. But though it was completely messy with toys everywhere, the chaos had order. So I picked them up and I was just frustrated. I was annoyed. It was nighttime. The lights were off. It was just the moonlight pretty much, and maybe like a small can light. There wasn't very much light in my dream. So I pick up my son Aiden and I'm walking down the stairs, and all the way down the stairs on the side of the stair are toys. There's just toys just lined up all down the stairs. Again, perfectly lined up. And I'm walking down the stairs and I get down to the bottom where the living room area is. And then all of a sudden, I look up in the corner of my eye, a black shadow runs from one door to the next in the corner of the house. And right in that moment, my whole body froze and the paralysis kicked in. I couldn't move. And it's the first time that I had sleep paralysis in my dream where I actually had my baby with me. I've had sleep paralysis in awake, where things are actually happening in my room, but then there's other times where I have sleep paralysis inside my dream. And this is one of those dreams. And I got paralysis. I couldn't move. I'm holding my son in my arms. And all I could think of is, if this shadow man, if the hat man gets me when I have my kid, this is not going to be good. So I mustered up all of the strength in me and I said, Jesus, give me the strength just to get to my mother-in-law's room. My mother-in-law's room was about like 10 feet away from me inside the dream. And in the doorway, I can hear my wife, my mother-in-law, and that man. They're all talking in that room, and I can hear them. So I'm thinking, if I can just get inside that doorway, I can make it. And I'm stepping, and one step at a time. It's like 1,000 times gravity in Dragon Ball Z. I couldn't move, but I was taking one step at a time, and then I finally get into the room, and as soon as I get into the room, I can move. I take a deep breath and I exhale, and then my baby just disappears. Aiden just disappears. And now I'm in the room. I walk into the room, and as I'm looking in front of me, the head of the bed is to the left against the wall. The foot of the bed is towards the middle of the room. And closest to me is the man. He's laying down. His head is at the head of the bed. And my wife, she's also on the bed, but her head is at the foot of the bed. So I walk around towards my wife and I tap her on the shoulder and I said, baby, something's wrong. And she gets up and she's like, don't call me baby. And she starts scratching her face. And as she's scratching her face, she transforms into my mother-in-law. And as she's just nonchalantly scratching her face, her skin starts peeling off and I can see this demonic red skin underneath. And I jump back because I was like, what the hell? this was my wife, and then now she just transformed into my mother-in-law, and then she's scratching her face, and the demon skin is revealed as she's peeling off of this human skin. And then I turn around and I look in the bathroom, and my wife is on the phone in the bathroom. So I rush over to the bathroom. I'm trying to get my wife's attention. I'm like, baby, something's wrong. There's something wrong, baby. And she won't acknowledge me. She doesn't even acknowledge my existence. And I'm just walking around, pacing around, trying to get her attention, and she's not even listening to me. And then right then I get pulled out of my dream and I wake up. I can hear voices talking. It's my mother-in-law and that man. They're sitting at the kitchen table, and she's telling him all of these stories about me. And I remember one of the main things that really just pissed me off when I heard them talking was him saying, he's not even a man. 그거는 남자도 아니지. And she's sitting there doing that to not just him, but to my children. This little demon, my mother-in-law, is turning my own children, and this man that's being so close and friendly with her daughter, which she's completely okay with. She tells me, oh, I felt so bad, but it's better that it be an old man than a young man. That's what you have to tell me, mother-in-law? What in the heck is wrong with you, you demon Jezebel spirit? So I confront my wife about this, and she just straight up tells me that I'm lying. She's like, you're lying. My mother would never do that. Like, I sat there and watched them talk about me for like 30 minutes. Don't tell me I'm lying. I woke up from a sleep paralysis dream and you won't even believe me? And so she goes up to her mother and asks her mother, and her mother just bold-faced lies to my wife. Right to her face. No, we never talked. We never did any of that. And I was like, really? You didn't talk to him last night and say all those things about me? No. And that's when I knew, wow, she really is a demon. She really is a demon. Bold-faced lied to my wife, her own daughter, turned my wife against me by making her choose her mother over me. She had to go ask her mother because she couldn't trust my words. And I have the problem because I'm autistic. That's awesome. The Autistic Christian out.
Couldn't resist, mate.